Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers insiders provide grim update on Cole Holcomb injury. The Pittsburgh Steelers have made two exciting additions at inside linebacker this offseason. First, they signed Patrick Queen to a franchise record-setting contract. Then, they grabbed Dick Butkus winner Peyton Wilson in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft. But there's still no word about when those two players will get the opportunity to play with incumbent Steelers linebacker Cole Holcomb. Holcomb suffered a season-ending knee injury during Week 9 against the Tennessee Titans last year. He left the game on a cart and didn't return. The Steelers ruled Holcomb out for the rest of the season the day after his injury. But the team has yet to provide a more thorough label to the ailment other than knee injury. On May 8, ESPN's Brooke Pryor and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Ray Fittipaldo didn't have a more specific name for Holcomb's injury. But each had bleak updates on Holcomb's recovery. Holcomb was playing really well last season until he had a season-ending knee injury, and that's been a pretty significant injury, Pryor said while appearing on the Adam Gold Show. My understanding is it's not just a simple ACL tear, and they're being very vague on what the specific injury is. Pryor added that Holcomb's timeline to return isn't quite clear. Fittipaldo used context clues to provide his own update on the inside linebacker. Based on their moves in free agency and the draft, I am betting they are not counting on much of a contribution from Holcomb this season, if at all, Fittipaldo wrote as an answer in a fan chat. They signed Patrick Queen to the richest free agent deal in franchise history and selected Peyton Wilson in the third round of the draft. Plus, Elandon Roberts is back for another season. If Holcomb does play this season, I don't think it will be early in the season. Before his injury, Holcomb was among the Steelers' leaders in tackles and defensive snaps last season. In 8 games, he had 54 combined tackles, including 4 tackles for loss. He also had 2 quarterback hits, 2 pass defenses, and 2 forced fumbles. Although the Steelers have been vague with Holcomb's injury, it's clear the ailment is very serious. Steelers general manager Omar Khan told reporters at the NFL Combine that he wasn't sure about the linebacker's recovery timeline. That's highly unusual for an injury that occurred 4 months earlier. The assumption has been since Holcomb's injury that he tore his ACL. The typical recovery time for an ACL tear is 6 to 12 months. In recent years, NFL players have returned closer to the shorter end of that time frame. Given those facts and Pryor's comments on the Adam Gold Show, Holcomb is likely dealing with something besides just an ACL tear. He could have another injury in his knee in addition to the ACL tear, or he could be dealing with something else entirely, such as a patellar tendon tear. But the only known fact is Holcomb suffered a knee injury. To suggest anything else as fact is speculation. While Pryor and Fittipaldo had disappointing updates on Holcomb's return, there was one positive sign for his recovery in March. Steelers Depot's Alex Kozora reported on March 19 that Holcomb posted a workout video on his Instagram story. Working with well-known trainer Pete Bomarito, Holcomb shared clips to his Instagram story of him at the gym, Kozora wrote. You can see him wearing a black sleeve on his left knee. Holcomb was working upper body and not shown doing any leg workouts. But the fact he's on his feet and training is a positive sign. If there's any other positive news with Holcomb, he is under contract beyond 2024. So, should he not be able to play much in 2024, Holcomb could still return fully healthy for Pittsburgh in 2025. The Steelers signed the linebacker to a 3-year, $18 million contract last offseason. Pittsburgh Steelers, disgruntled San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl WR wants to play in AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers could consider adding a veteran wide receiver with over 3,000 career yards and Super Bowl experience before training camp. A free agent receiver who played for the San Francisco 49ers the previous 2 seasons stated his divisional preference for the upcoming season. Willie Snead Ivy's contract with the 49ers expired in February. Snead, who has been in the league since 2014, has yet to find a new home for the 2024 season. As previously discussed on GH, Snead recently made comments about the 49ers that hint he's not looking to return to San Francisco anytime soon. He thinks the 49ers allow favoritism for playing time, while Arik Armstead, a veteran team favorite on the defense, had a problem getting paid by the front office. Snead had the opposite problem in San Francisco. On his X account, Snead wrote the 49ers have an entitlement issue in their locker room. He hinted they don't let players compete for playing time. All I want is to go back to a team that isn't afraid to let guys compete for a roster spot. These last 3 years been nothing short of entitlement. Competition breeds champions, Snead wrote. Snead knows where he wants to go next. Snead posted another message on his X account telling the NFL world he wants to play for the AFC's black and blue division. I need to be back in the AFC North. That brand of football is just different, Snead wrote. The NFC West is no slouch either. Since the 2012 season, the NFC has made 7 Super Bowl appearances and 5 NFC West teams have made the Super Bowl since Snead joined the league. The Steelers need to add more competition for their receiver core in training camp. The Steelers traded away Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers earlier this offseason. They released veteran receiver Allen Robinson in March. The Steelers' WR1 will be George Pickens, but they need to find help for their W2 and W3 positions. They selected Michigan standout Roman Wilson in the 3rd round of this year's draft. They also added Scotty Miller this week to compete in training camp. Snead could be another intriguing addition to the Steelers. While he was seldom used in San Francisco, Snead added 33 receptions for 339 yards and 3 touchdowns with the Baltimore Ravens in the 2020 season. He had 5 touchdowns for Baltimore the year before. Would the Steelers rather see Snead in a black and gold uniform or lining up from across their defensive secondary in an orange or purple jersey? Tennessee Titans head coach Brian Callahan breaks silence on Pittsburgh Steelers trade target. Tennessee Titans wide receiver Treylon Burks has emerged as a top candidate to be traded, especially after the franchise added Tyler Boyd to quarterback will leave his supporting cast. The Pittsburgh Steelers could be a top landing spot for Burks, following Allen Robinson's departure and given a significant need at receiver. Burks, Tennessee's first-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, has tumbled down the depth chart following the additions of DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and Tyler Boyd over the past 2 offseasons amid his own struggles and battling through myriad injuries. However, as the Titans begin OTAs, head coach Brian Callahan addressed speculation Treylon Burks could be on the move head one. While Burks might fight for snaps given the current depth the Titans boast at receiver, Callahan suggests Tennessee didn't add Boyd as a Burks replacement. As far as Treylon's role, Callahan told reporters on May 9. He's going to play everything. We've told him that from the beginning. He's going to play inside, he's going to play outside, and he's going to carve out a role for himself. I had him come up today and do the break after practice, because his play has been really impressive. Treylon ran 3,591 yards on Tuesday and then hit our top speed and team-leading top speed at 22.6 miles per hour in practice, just super workload and performances in practice. Time will tell if Callahan's comments are an indication of the Titans' belief in Burks playing meaningful snaps in Tennessee this season or were intended as a sales pitch to juice a trade market for the 24-year-old. Meanwhile, Boyd lands in Tennessee after catching 67 passes for 667 yards with 2 touchdowns, despite a revolving door of Bengals quarterbacks last season after Joe Burrow suffered a season-ending injury. Tyler Boyd is a slot receiver, Callahan said. That's where he's made his money, that's where he's had his production. He's a fantastic slot receiver, on top of it. Most importantly, he's an awesome addition to the locker room. He's a great human being, a great worker, everything about him is what we want to be about. To add him is an impactful add for us. We're excited about it. Boyd figures to play the slot for the Titans, but Burks' role, if any, remains to be seen. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Treylon Burks? Leave your opinion in the comments.